Joined now by Robert Rosenthal of IlliniBoard.com. I want to start by talking about this fire truck that is sweeping Illini Twitter. I haven't had the chance to come out yet. I am dying to, but it looked like a fun one yesterday. A little post-gate with Coach Bielema ringing the siren. How was it out there last night?
It was great. I mean, yesterday was the perfect tailgating day, right? Like the weather, 68 degrees, sunny, you could be out in the sun. It wasn't overly hot, everything else. So it was great. Yes, me and 5 other guys, we decided in the off season that our tailgate needed a bit of boost. We needed a vehicle. We found a fire truck. We painted it orange. We put some graphics on it, and yes, it's been quite popular, including with Coach.
Was that his first time seeing it?
Yes. Yeah, I had shown him pictures before, and so we were just cleaning up and finishing up the tailgate, and a golf cart pulls up, and off pops the coach and his wife, and they're taking pictures, and he's ringing the siren. So yes, it was quite the fun ending to a long day. Yes.
I mean, just such a special day. I said it last night, when you've got perfect weather, a matchup like that, and a sellout crowd, like you're just asking to have a perfect day. And as somebody who's stuck with this team through all of it.
Yes.
What did last night mean to you, and what do you think it means for this program?
I mean, as a fan, it's a big deal. Like the last 6 sellouts have been losses, and some were blowout losses. Anticipation. I think back to that North Carolina game, which was the last sellout. All this anticipation. Lovey had just been hired. There's hope that he's going to be the one to turn the program around. And then, North Carolina scored what? It was 46-23 was the final score. It wasn't really even close after the first quarter. And so to have a game and to have all this build up and to have this and then to complete it and the 3 interceptions and the big plays and the long drives in the fourth quarter. I mean, I can't tell you how big of a boost that is for the fan base, who's just kind of used to losing this game.
Right. Well, you speak of the fan base. Today we wake up with Illinois technically 26th in the AP poll, technically 29th in the coaches poll. The first time receiving votes since week 2 of last season. Do you think last night's win also marks a big shift in the national opinion of Brett Bielema's Illini team?
I think so. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that there's the votes are coming from a confidence in him. Like there have been times Illinois had to, start out 2-0, beat Cincinnati in week 2. That was supposed to be a pretty good team, and in 2013, and there weren't many votes that time because there wasn't much confidence that it was a real victory. But this on Fox Sports 1, getting some attention, all the predictors on game day are picking Kansas. To take a game like that and to flip it and to win it. There's some, Illinois was really good. They were in a big bowl 2 years ago. There's some confidence that this program's going in the right direction.
Yep. How did you feel about the field storming? Because, I come from a background of Kentucky football, which feels very similar to this Illini program, where sometimes you feel like you're too big for a field storming.
Yes.
Did this one feel warranted in your opinion?
In my opinion, personally, and I said this, I do this thing I call From the Stands, where I record a little podcast episode just on my phone from the stands immediately after the game. And I talked about that, whereas, look, any other program you can kind of understand, like, you just beat Kansas, number 19. Is that worthy of that? For Illinois fans who have been through 2-10 seasons, who have been through, from 2003 to 2006, Illinois won 8 games total in 4 years, averaging 2 wins a year. So when you've been through that and you have the scars from that, a fan base that gets to beat a ranked team in a night game and a sellout is absolutely going to rush the field. No shame.
The major takeaways for me, at least last night, were the mayhem caused by Miles and Xavier Scott. Unfortunately, not related. Would be great. It would
be a great story. Yes.
3 interceptions, one of them taken to the house. Is that what's top of mind for you looking back at this game this morning, or is there something else that you're really fired up about?
100% the interceptions. I mean, last year there were 7 interceptions total. So in 2022, 24 interceptions led the nation. Then those guys get drafted. Sidney Brown goes to the Eagles. Quan Martin goes to the Redskins. Devin Witherspoon goes to the Seahawks. And last year it went from 24 to 7. For them to already have, 5 interceptions now, and, closing in on last year's entire total after 2 games, we saw it last night. Kansas was playing well and kind of dominating the game. Start of the fourth quarter had twice the yards of Illinois, but the way to flip a football game is to grab an interception, stop a drive with no points, and turn it back around. And so that kept them in the game, and then they put together 2 nice drives.
It was just incredible to be there, and to feel it was just so special.
Yes.
So we've got our last cupcake, air quotes, cupcake game of the season, because like I said, coming from Kentucky football, you can't say cupcake too confidently or you will lose.
That is right.
Coming up this weekend, it's homecoming versus Central Michigan.
Yep.
Last chance to, kind of button some things up before getting into Big Ten. Are there any big spots that you feel still need some polish before the Illini head into conference play?
Well, first, I mean, and I'm glad you say that from the Kentucky perspective as well, because every Illinois fan has the thought of, wait, beat a ranked team, then lose to Central Michigan? That sounds like Illinois. That sounds like what's happened in the past. So that fear is already baked into the fan base. But yeah, I mean, that's the outlook, is like if this team wants to prove that it's on solid footing, on solid ground, that it didn't just need these interceptions, that it can put together drives through all 4 quarters, you got to take care of business this weekend. And I really do think that it's it's a good test. If this was the Eastern Illinois game coming up, where maybe there's not so much of a test, that's maybe not preparing you. But to have a decent MAC team who's gone to Oklahoma State and win in the last few years and everything else, that has a good coach, to take on that test and prove, hey, look, this team is ready to go to Nebraska, to go to Penn State. It's kind of the perfect setup for one more tune-up game.
And hey, Eastern Illinois with a big win last night.
That's right. Should prove that this team might be a little stronger than we think.
And then last question for you, as the Illinois football guy that you are, I bet you've dealt with lots of bandwagoners over the years. What do you say to this horde of bandwagoners who may see last night's win and think, okay, time to get all in on some Illini football?
I say welcome. I say climb on top of the fire truck and we'll drive around town. This is a fan base that is, any fan base with this much losing will kind of deal with some infighting and some just like a family where things aren't going on. You're in a small house in cramped spaces. That's what it feels like, sometimes for the Illinois fan base. So to get these two, a sellout win is just something that can really energize this entire fan base. It can really be sold of it's Charlie Brown and Lucy holding the football, really, and to see the football held and to see, wait, I just kicked that, that's the feeling, and it can be carried forward the rest of the season.